I'm assuming that you're lifting weights to build more muscle, and I'm assuming that you're doing cardio to lose more body fat or to prevent you from gaining more body fat while you're on a bulk. The question you want the answer to is, should you do your cardio before or after your resistance training? Before we get into the facts, if you want to stay right until the end of the video, I'm going to share with you, in my opinion, the best type of cardio if your goal is to build muscle. A lot of people will claim that they have the answer to this question immediately.
Anyone? Come on, don't be shy.
I think I know the answer, Mr. Garrison. Shut up, fat boy! Hey, don't call me faggot!
But what I want to do for you first is go a little bit of a different direction with this. So first of all, it depends on your goal. For example, if your goal is to lose the most body fat possible, you're not that interested in building muscle, or you just happen to be making fat loss a priority in this period, then the best time for you personally to do your cardio is going to be in the morning, fasted, and then continue to fast so that your body is then burning that body fat. That would be the best time to do cardio for you. That doesn't mean that you couldn't eat breakfast right after your fasted cardio, and then what you would do is do your weight training later in the day. But if your goal is fat loss, that's the best for you. Another situation would be, let's say your goal is to focus more on your lung capacity, more on your cardiovascular system, and that's most important to you, your conditioning. Maybe you're a fighter, maybe you train boxing or Muay Thai or anything like that. Then for you, it's more important to do your cardio before your weight training, because cardio is going to be far more important for you, if that's your goal, than it will be building muscle. If your goal is to build the most muscle, like mine is, and like I guess 99% of you are here for, then doing cardio before your resistance training makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. It's the worst thing that you can do. And the reason is because doing your cardio right before your resistance training is going to burn you out. If you're following a real training program, you should be fatigued by the end of that training session. So if you're going to do your cardio before that, there's no way in this world that you can perform as well as you would if you didn't do the cardio before that training session. We're now going to talk about when is the best time to do your cardio then, if your goal is to build the most muscle. But if you're getting any value from this video at all so far, you've liked anything that I've said, just click the like button because it only takes a second and it really does help the video out. Okay, thank you for that. So now another issue we run into is if you do your cardio right after your resistance training, you're so fatigued, or you should be, from your weight training session that you can't give it your all in your cardio. If you burn up all the glucose in your muscles while you're weight training and then try to do cardio after you're already fatigued, then your cardio session is going to suffer. Another factor that I just want to bring into play is something that not many people talk about, and that is that there's different ways to build muscle. It's not just all about weight training, it's not as simple as that, and I can do videos on this at another point, and I will. But one of the ways that you can build more muscle is to get a pump in the muscle. If you don't know what that means, it's just that tight feeling that you feel in the muscle when you're lifting weights. It's blood and water all being pumped into that muscle, and it feels almost swollen, and that's what a pump is. But by getting a pump, it can actually trigger more muscle growth and more potential for muscle growth, because basically, just to keep it simple, the fascia tissue will stretch out. When you're pumping blood and carbs and water into that muscle, it's going to stretch out, and that will trigger more growth. If you do cardio right after your workout, you're taking all of that blood from the muscles, from the bicep, from the chest, that pump that you've got, and you're dragging that into your legs, into other muscles in the body. So it's just one of those things to consider. Is it really going to make a massive difference? No. But it still is a factor, and I like guys to leave the gym with that pump in the muscles they've just worked, not dragging it all out into different body parts. If you didn't like the video before, then this is your chance to press the like button. And what I want to talk about now is what I actually recommend. When should you do your cardio? When is the best time? So if your focus is a little bit more like fat loss, then do your cardio fasted in the morning. Whatever type of cardio you do your cardio in the morning. If you're eating breakfast, then eat breakfast right after you've done your cardio. Or if you're doing intermittent fasting, then you can continue to fast until your first meal. Then you can do your weight training later in the day. The only time I don't recommend that is if you're a guy that's skinny, that's really struggling to gain weight, struggling to gain muscle. I wouldn't recommend doing fasted cardio. In fact, I wouldn't actually prescribe you or program you cardio in your program at all, because your focus is to gain weight and you're really struggling to gain weight. Now, another really good option, depending on how much cardio you want to do, is to do your cardio on a completely separate day. So do your weight training on Monday if you're doing full body workouts, which I recommend, and then you can do your cardio the day after. So you can alternate between cardio and your weight training. Another thing I would say is cardio is great, but don't obsess over cardio, because if you're doing cardio just because you want to get leaner, it's really not necessary. Doing cardio is not the most important thing for getting lean. If you're just doing cardio for overall health, or just to try and stay a little bit leaner while you're bulking, then yes, I think cardio can be a really good idea. But if your main goal is to build muscle, don't push your cardio too much. And that leads me on to my bonus tip that I promised you at the start of the video, which is the best type of cardio to do if your goal is to build muscle is simple walking. I like fasted walking with no calories, because this way it's not very strenuous on the body. You can go for a 60-minute walk every single day and still do your weight training without it hindering your performance in any way. If you're doing HIIT cardio or strenuous cardio or running, and you want to do weight training, you absolutely can do that. But if you're trying to cut weight and do that, it's going to be too much stress on the body. The video that you're going to want to watch next is actually a video I did talking about should you train in the morning or the evening. I've left a link on screen right now to that video that you can go and watch, and I basically go more in depth about why training in the evening time is going to help you build more muscle in the long run anyway.